Hello, writer friends. We are here with another podcast episode for the Write It podcast. And today we are going to talk about Java Jotting, writing ideas over your morning brew. So I decided I was going to start this new series. And so this series is it's a coffee series, so to say, for authors and writers. So this is my first episode in said series, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So just bear with me for a moment. There is something magical about that first sip of coffee in the morning, right? I'm not wrong, right? So it's like the world seems to pause as the warm, rich coffee just slides down your throat, and it awakens your senses and jumpstarts your brain. There's just so many great things about coffee, right? So for writers, this moment can be the spark that ignites a flurry of creativity. So let's explore how to harness the power of your morning brew to fuel your writing ideas and get your creative juices flowing. Doesn't that sound like fun? There's nothing like comparing writing to coffee, because I love coffee. So, okay, let's start here with the perfect sitting. Okay, so imagine this. You're sitting on your front porch, right? Maybe your front porch is screened in, maybe it's not, whatever. And you have a steaming cup or mug of coffee in your hands. You might have a dog or two lounging, laying nearby, but the morning sun casts a gentle glow and the air is crisp and it's filled with potential. This tranquil setting is the perfect backdrop for brainstorming and jotting down fresh ideas. Right? Doesn't that sound lovely? That sounds lovely to me. Okay, so the ritual of brewing, let's talk about that. The process of making coffee itself can be a source of inspiration. Allow me to explain. So the rhythmic motions and the sounds of, say, grinding beans, to the dripping water, to the pouring of the creamer, and the waiting for the perfect brew can put you in a meditative state, right? If you just focus on that, just focus on it. Focus on the dripping coffee and the sounds of it. The ritual allows your mind to wander and explore new storylines, characters, and plot twists. If you just allow it to calm you and focus you at that moment when your coffee is brewing, that can be the perfect opportunity to come up with all these new ideas. You just have to embrace it. All right, sipping inspiration. With your coffee ready, take a moment to savor the aroma and the flavor. That's my favorite part of the morning, if I'm being completely honest. That first sip, savoring. Just the smell of the coffee while it's brewing. It's just, I love it. As you sip, let your mind drift and observe the thoughts that bubble up. So just calm yourself, take some deep breaths, sip your coffee, and see what thoughts come to mind. Here are a few prompts that can easily get you started in the morning while you're sipping your brew. Okay, character development. Who would enjoy this particular cup of coffee? What does their choice of drink say about their personality? That's something to think about. Your antagonist, your protagonist, whoever. That's definitely a great way to create a character, so to say. And stay tuned, because I have a pretty amazing podcast episode coming up about that exact thing. Okay, setting the scene. Imagine a pivotal scene in your story taking place in a cozy cafe. What's the atmosphere like? How does it affect the characters? There you go. Plot twists. How could a simple coffee date turn into a major turning point in your narrative? Right? These are just amazing things to think about while you're sipping your coffee. All right. Morning or midday. Don't limit yourself to just one cup. Oh no. As the day progresses, your ideas can evolve. So a midday coffee break can offer a fresh perspective on a stubborn plot point or inspire a new character. Keep a notebook ready to capture these fleeting moments of inspiration. So I like to keep little notebooks here and there. I also have a note app on my phone that I don't know what I would do without. I guess I'd have to text everything to myself, and that can become messy. So keep a note app on the phone, keep a notebook handy, whichever you prefer. All right, from beans to books. Let's not forget the rich history of coffee itself. The journey from bean to cup is filled with stories of adventure, culture, tradition. Incorporate this rich tapestry into your writing. Perhaps your protagonist is a coffee farmer, or maybe your story takes place in a bustling coffee market. The possibilities are endless. Maybe your main character owns a cafe or a coffee shop. Maybe they're just a coffee connoisseur and they're always trying different cups and flavors. And I mean, you could just get so creative with this. All right, a community of creatives. Go figure. I didn't even know that was coming up next. And to be honest with you, I wrote this. I wrote this podcast episode. I wrote it and I put it on my blog. So even though I'm reading through it with you, I wrote it. So it's coming from me. All right, a community of creatives. Coffee has a way of bringing people together. You know it does. You know it does. Coffee lovers unite, right? Join a local writing group or participate in a coffee shop writing meetup. Wow, that sounds fun. Sharing your ideas and getting feedback from fellow writers over a cup of coffee can be incredibly motivating and enlightening. It can be inspiring and it can be encouraging. It can be all of those things. All right, friends. So the final sip. As you finish your cup, take a moment to reflect on the ideas that you've gathered. Writing, like brewing coffee, is an art that requires patience, passion, and a bit of experimentation. So the next time you're stuck in a creative rut, brew a fresh pot of coffee. Maybe go to the local coffee shop. Try something new. Sit back and let the magic of your brew guide your keys. Isn't that cute? Remember, great stories often start with a great cup of coffee. Isn't that the truth? So there you have it, friends. That is the first in my Writers and Coffee series, Java Jotting, writing your ideas over your morning brew. So basically, I'm sure you got the gist of this podcast episode and this information, but basically in the morning or during the day, maybe you drink coffee at night, that's fine too. Whenever you are brewing yourself a cup or a pot of coffee, take that time to just breathe and focus and refocus. Think about your story ideas, your character ideas, all these type of things. And make it a tradition, so to say, that every time you brew a pot or brew a cup of coffee, you take that time to focus on the brew, focus on the aroma, focus on the flavor, and focus on your stories. I hope you guys found this helpful. Stay tuned for more in my Java Jotting series. Take care, friends.